good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my friends on the Earthship. Welcome to my little Alchemy podcast, a place where I can share about the ingredients that are needed in the alchemy of transcendence and truth. You're welcome here each Sunday or whenever you'd like to arrive as it's recorded. We can explore here about being the Master Alchemist of your life. I'm Cindy Carter. I'm an intuitive, an artist, an energy healer, and a spirit consultant. This series of alchemy podcasts that I put on each Sunday, or most Sundays, is a progressing understanding of how to become compassionate with ourselves and with others, how to seek a divine truth in all things. It's a discussion on how to be a sovereign being on an earth. And last podcast, we talked about the reset, about resetting your life when some people have come to the point of having had enough, seen enough, been everywhere, got the t-shirt, they're done, over and out. So when that happens, we need to reset and see things from a different place. But when you know things need to change and you have the courage to allow the change, this is a real compassionate way to be in service to your higher self and to your cumulative lives. So we begin to reset our lives when we look at this one thing that really does hold people back from their own awareness. And this thing is the distractions. There are so many distractions away from our divinity, away from the reason you came into a body. To be outside of this distraction is what our souls are wanting, what our universe wishes for us. To be outside of the distraction. Outside of the bombardment of Wi-Fi and soon-to-be 5G, smart meters and Gwyn towers. But it can all change when we choose to not allow it in our lives, one way or another. We choose. I'm talking about the distractions of life and about humanity waking up to the systems that have been disrupted in your life, away from divinity. And some of these things are archaic, death consciousness distractions that infiltrate your innocent little minds and innocent little psyches. It's been happening from eons and eons, generation to generation. Doesn't mean you're at fault, does it? No. Just happened to be a product of this thing called the Matrix. But did you really come into a body to work 9 to 5 in a cubicle or in a factory with no sunlight? When you understand that, false light, fluorescent light, blue light, that is emitted from the screens of everything that you see and in the factories with the lighting there, it was not invented to bring life. This kind of thing was brought for a schedule. For humans. It was invented by humans to bring a schedule because why? There needed to be a different rhythm than our natural rhythm. Our natural rhythm, we had 2 sleeps as a normal life. You can look that up. I love 2 sleeps, actually. It's my favorite thing, and I just can't get around it. It's my natural nature to get up at 3 a.m., stay up till 5, and go to sleep again. It's perfect for me. But until the industrialized nation decided that, to put more money in the coffers of the businesses, they need to work these shifts, shift work, and 9 to 5 work. A bit like slaves, as life and business was created with servitude in mind to the business. What were the businesses? They were big, huge businesses that had infiltrated society through, a mass consciousness based in a reptilian faction. I'm serious. Look up every Fortune 500 company. Who owns them? There's 12 families that own everything and parts of everything. The influence is wide. But we sure can, create something else. But here we are, the lifelong cadence of duty and loyalty to business entities. It came beyond the loyalty of our own divine rights, about the loyalty of your family or your friends or your loved ones. There was no room for this in the industrialized world. So there were plans, scripts written on what to do with the humans and how to keep them in check and how to keep them in place so that no one of them or no group of them may challenge the constructs of the control that was being built hundreds of years ago to keep the humans busy, supplying like an ant colony to the queen. Sounds like an analogy, but it's not. The Queen Mother, the head reptilian, yes, it trickles down to you and your choices, your family choices. How our societal life was created is not how a divine life would create. Angelic humans would never create a slave world to enslave a society and enslave a mind and dumb down a human. But religion and education were all guided by a faction that were bringing darkness. It was on purpose. Humans asked to witness themselves. You don't witness only one side of the spectrum of light. We forgot that as humans. So we came here and we got to see all of it. We asked. And now we need to ask for something else. You see, the system that was created is a simulation for you to endure or to integrate or to come into reckoning with or to get sucked in by. See, it's a choice. This system that was created for a life like it is, with all the ultimate distractions away from your divinity, away from your good health, away from your good food, good energy. It was all designed for us with really archaic systems. We had electrogravitic systems without energy, without fuel. We had consciousness devices. We had perfect health. We had herbs that helped us, that cured things. They were all taken away by a society, an archaic, designed society. Outdated fossil fuels, harming toxic mixes for our natural bodies, a construct built so that those humans could just live in their own alignment without our input as divine humans. But this is happening where now the cosmic nature, the influx of the cosmic rays pummeling the top of the earth will not allow this for long. The distractions are being seen. They're being shown. And your own distractions are going to be very illuminated, if they're not already. I'm hearing from a lot of people that this is a major issue right now. What's up is their distractions. A lot of distractions. This is the issue. A lot of distractions were kind of glorified by yourself and are now going to crumble right before you at your hands or at the hands of another. You're going to find out that these long-standing distractions, such as a long-held admiration of, say, a Hollywood star or a great athlete or a scientist, or some so-called child advocates, you're going to see the truth is going to be unveiled, and hopefully you'll be in full receivership of the truth and hold yourself in compassion while you receive it. that the truth is that you have been distracted by these things away from your divinity. These things may have been fun, they may have been addicting, they may have been obsessions, but they were unnatural, not based in the source of your being. They're not life-affirming. Because exposure to activities during this grand purge, if you're involved in activities that are discordant to begin with, these distractions are going to come very quickly into your mind. And you're going to see, maybe you shouldn't have gone there today. Maybe you should have followed your gut and turned around, or maybe you did follow your gut and turn your car around. Oh my gosh, you didn't go to that appointment? Why? Because something told me not to. I just didn't go. Wow. Autonomy right there. Just in a choice. But we do have all kinds of distractions and interests and given constructs like education or the pursuit of a status, a power symbol as in a car or a home or a job or some like righteous tennis shoes. All that crap's going to be crumbling just because it's out of alignment with our truth. And it's going to come to the forefront for you to see and for you to deal with. So that's why I'm here to help you before it happens, to assist you, to see that while a truth is being explained, that it's going to crumble in front of you, and then you're going to see that it's been a complete distraction to you. This thing that you have obsessed over or been involved with for so long. You know, like imagine that you like love Pokemon or something so much that your whole house was filled with Pokemon. Your life was Pokemon, you ate Pokemon, you dreamed Pokemon. But then all of a sudden, and I love Pokemon, so I'm just using it as an example. What if Pokemon was considered something as a distraction as the truth came out that something was dire within the Pokemon? And then you had no choice but to see it as a distraction. Boy, that's a life that's going to have to change. You know, if you got a rubber ducky and that's the only way you can get through life, you might have to put the rubber ducky down. There's been distractions all of your life, but you can think your way out of it. You can feel your way out of it. You can change your way out of it just by choosing to see the truth and choosing to see beyond, into the truth, beyond the distractions. When you choose to ask the universe to show me my distractions, oh, you'll see them. Maybe it's somebody who invites you to dinner all the time that you don't want to go with. Ask the universe to tell you your distractions, and you might get invited 5 times in a row, waiting for you to say no, because it's compassionate. But there's all kinds of ways that the siphons of energy take us away from the divinity. You know, we don't have to go through all of them, but there's status and greed and power and lust and energy siphons and energy thieves. All kinds of exposure is going to come and go. But it's going to come to you so that your distractions can really end. So you can see through them, beyond them, around them. And when we have the reptilian brain activated through any fear, loathing, shame, blame, depression, we're going to be taken in by the distractions, the lower vibrations. If you drink alcohol on a regular basis, you are opening up your energy stream to be taken in by the reptilian brain, by entities of other sources that bring a reptilian rule of demise and trauma to the lifespan. Do drugs, and the distractions, they never end. But you can end them now by seeing the influence. Because you have to remember you're a star being here on this earth. And as a star being, we would never choose to poison our babies with drugs. We would never choose to take away the creativity or the autonomy of an angelic soul. But we came into a matrix that allows that. It even promotes that. So what do? You got to realize that's part of the distraction. To keep you so mired into the masses and the masses' trauma that it increases the archon streams. Just the consciousness of you knowing about so many suffering is going to allow you to make a choice that you're not going to suffer anymore. Even if others are suffering, you can help them and you can help whoever you can. You'll be here to uplift them through a strong, loving vibration that has nothing to do with the demise of you. You can uplift others, but they have choices to make too. The human masses are busy. They're buying into the thought patterns and subliminal influences of radiation and low-frequency waves. They're drawing in vibrations of sound from singers, from bands, from things, from Wi-Fi, from smart meters that are not helping. But what system of our sky brothers would live with this type of distraction away from the love that we have for each other, for the humans, the animals, the plant life, the cetaceans, all of them? So we go along with the game, the distraction. We have mental, emotional distractions like society's scripted, a view of how relationships are even supposed to be. God, that's archaic. The way we're set up to go to school, go to work for somebody else, give all your energy to the corporation, not to yourself, not to the family. What planet scripted this? Draconis? See, we others, from other places other than Draconis, come here to express the freedom of the mind and the freedom from the matrix, freedom from the distractions, because we do have focus. You do have an attention span that can be brought right back. Focus away from the archontic stream that dictates a level of disposable futures. And let's step into the power of focus, the power of divine thought, divine actions. Yeah, you still might have to pay taxes, but it may become a no thing when we start living outside of the influence of the archaicness of the dysfunctional systems that we go through every day. We've been filled with division. That's a form of distraction. As we divide ourselves and hate others, envy and blame is now involved. We become the distraction. As we allow society to tell us who and what we can be, that's our distraction. By taking on the pain of a government, that is certainly distraction. If you choose to allow others' pain to become your pain, this is a huge distraction right now. Your own multidimensional nature that's based in a loving and compassionate way is here screaming for you to walk outside of the distraction, the personal distractions, the things that you get invited to weekly. They could be spiritual or otherwise, but it keeps you away from your own self-healing or away from you working on yourself or even taking your alone time away. These are distractions. They come in big spiritual practices too. We could call these deceptive beings or deceptive practices, but they are influenced by outside energies. And, there's things like the deceptions now that are being looked at with John of God, that intuitive healer down in Brazil, and his influence in human trafficking. I even know of someone, now this may sound really bizarre, but I'm going to tell you, I even know of somebody that trades sex for energy healing sessions. My word, what are people thinking? I mean, how far into the distraction did we go into our spiritual nature thinking that that was the way to know ourselves better? Amazing, the choices of humans. It's usually the reason distractions come to you, to keep you learning your way into self-awareness. Not because we have some grand mission upon the earth to help the humans. It's because your mission is to align yourself with your divine nature. There's no mission in that. It's awareness. It's self-love. It's self-healing. And being able to focus the little monkey mind away from the Kardashians, away from the government circus, away from the addictions to the broadcasts of other people's lives or their fake lives over the airwaves. When are you going to interact with the wind, with the water, and with wood, with the ground, with Mother Earth? Expanding your awareness of your heart away from the distractions, into the nature around you as you start walking into the sweetness of life. But only you can do this. It's for you to focus away from the same routine that sucks the life out of you. So you need to look at the distractions and how many things start pulling you away. There's nowhere to go but here. Back to yourself. If you're living in distractions, you're living a very hollow existence. It's a life-sucking phenomenon of greed and poison and hate. We have distractions like long-standing tendencies and consciousness that pulls us away from our divinity. So prioritize your life. Does knowing yourself mean more than anything? Does being a loving, happy person appeal to you? Do you know that deep down there is more? Sure there is. It's right here in front of you, beyond the distractions. You only have so many minutes in a day. This fake construct called time. You only have so many of those fake constructs to deal with. And you spend your day doing so many things to bring yourself down, away from your knowing, away from your divinity. So this is about finding you through the matrix. Not hating the matrix, just understanding the matrix, witnessing the matrix so you can see the truth of your being. You know, that your crown will bow to your heart and you'll find beyond all the distractions of life that all things can be dismantled in love and allowance so that ease and grace can bring you to witness your truth beyond the distractions of food and TV and false romances and religious deities that don't show you your self-power. So let's finally see without the distraction. What is your truth? How to operate kindly and compassionately while you live your truth. Outside of this distraction. Creating in peace and harmony. I've created a meditation series called The Template of Grace. It's more of an activation of a cellular nature. It's 11 days of meditations available as MP3 downloads. This is so you can get out of your distractions. For 11 days, in a row. I dare you. Go to my website. It's $33. You can download it today. Get out of the distraction. Come back to grace. I'll be teaching some holographic healing classes, if anybody wants out of the distraction. I'll be teaching some alchemy classes. I'm putting together some things to assist you to get outside of this distraction so you can focus back on yourself. So let's create like an alchemist. Remember, higher vibrating energy dissipates lower vibrating energy. So let's bring in the peace, the joy, the knowledge, the wisdom, so that all beings may be happy and free. Many blessings.